Hi, I wanted to make this real quick video about the KDP sales ranking and what it really means. Okay. I had the impression that if I published a book and if it had a sales ranking, then that meant that I sold at least one book. As you can see, this is a book that was published on January 25th, 2022. I published a lot of books before, but this was the first low content book that I published. And so I published this one, plus I published several more after this. But this was the first one. So this was published in January 25th, 2022. It is now February 24th. Now, about a month later, and if I look down at the sales ranking, it gives me a bestsellers rank. Now, my understanding from watching other videos and reading things on the internet was that your sales ranking reflects number of sales. And if you have a sales ranking, then that means that you've sold some books. It may be one book, but you've sold at least one book. But then whenever you go to your sales report, you may not see the sale of that book because of the fact that if you look at this, it says the paid units that are shipped for paperback and for hardcover. So it doesn't actually show up on the sales report until it's actually shipped. So if I go back to my page, it shows that I have a bestsellers rank, and but there doesn't show any sales at all on the book since January 25th. So that's been a month that no sales have popped up. So I called KDP and asked them, why haven't any sales shown up? And so what was explained to me was that sales ranking doesn't mean that you sold any books. The lady went and looked into the book sales and all that on this particular book, and she said that there had been no books that have been sold. So I asked her, well, if no books have been sold, then how can I have sales ranking? And so what she explained to me, and if you go over to the Amazon store and detail page under sales ranking, it tells you about what sales ranking means. What she said is that if your book has ever appeared in a search, or if somebody has gone to look at your book page or something like that, that is called customer activity. And so according to the thing here in the sales ranking definition, it says that bestseller and category rankings are based on customer activity of your book relative to the activity of other books. Notice they use the word activity, not sales. Sales is an activity, but it's not the only activity. If your book appears in a search, then that's an activity. If somebody comes to visit your page, then that is an activity. So you can have sales rankings, as I do in this book, and not have ever sold a book. Now, I was not aware of this until I started looking into this, because I was wondering, well, I was supposed to have sold a book, and I haven't, nothing has shown up on my sales report. So now I understand that sales ranking does not mean that this is the number of sales and how that number of sales reflects according to the other books that have sold. This is, once again, sales ranking is talking about the customer activity of your book relative to the activity of other books. And so an activity, once again, is a sale is an activity, but also your book appearing in a search is an activity, and your book page being visited is an activity. And there may be other things that have to do with your book that is an activity as well. So I hope this helps you understand it better. Just because you have published a book and all of a sudden you see a bestsellers rank of anything, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you sold a book.